Hum Brahmasmi, I am the universe. Welcome to Live from the Sweet Spot with your host, Davidji.
Hello, hello, and welcome. My name is Davidji, and you are listening to Live from the Sweet Spot on Hay House Radio, radio for your soul. It's a balmy 66 degrees today here in the sweet spot of the universe, Carlsbad, California. But wherever you are, that's your sweet spot. So let's lock in. Today's show is pretty powerful. It's on miracles. And we have an incredible guest, Frank Elleriti. He'll join us a little later in the show. And the two of us, and Peaches, my co-host, the Buddha Princess, who teaches in every moment, resist nothing and you'll receive unconditional love for all the days of your life. She's here with me, and so we've got a great show lined up, but why don't we all, wherever you are in the world, whether you're my reindeer sister, Marianne Pagmar, out in Stockholm, Sweden, or whether you're Lindsay down in Chile, or whether you're any of the people in Amsterdam that I'll be visiting in a few weeks, in Hawaii, Alaska, and throughout Canada and the U.S., wherever you are. Let's all connect. So find a comfortable space right now. And as long as you're not driving a vehicle, feel free to allow your eyelids to gently float closed. And together, let's take a long, slow, deep breath in. And gently let that go. Let's do that again. Long, slow, deep breath in of the universe's unconditional loving kindness pouring into our heart as we breathe in. And as you exhale, radiate that out to all the sentient beings on the planet, especially those who are suffering. Let's do it again. Long, slow, deep breath in of metta, unconditional loving kindness. And as we exhale, let's radiate it out, back out into the world, bathing everyone in your life with your compassion and light. And just follow your breath. Witness your breathing. Observe as the universe flows into you. And as you flow it back out. And in the words of the immortal sage, John Bon Jovi, miracles happen every day. Change your perception of what a miracle is, and you'll see them all around you. So right now, with your eyes closed, reach out and feel all the miracles in your life. You can start with your heart. This miraculous, sweet, tender, beating heart. You can even place your hand on it. Keeping you moving throughout the day, throughout the night, throughout each moment. Giving in every moment. It doesn't even need your attention. But right now, let's bring our attention to it. And let's move to our breathing, our breath, prana, vital energy, allowing you to think and move and speak and ripple your magnificence with every word and every action. Think of the miracles out there of the people who support you. Those who champion you. Those in your front row rooting for you. Whether you're thriving or you've just fallen down. Let's radiate some gratitude out to them. Think of the miracles that we can transcend culture and color and race and religion and philosophy and gender, knowing that we are all one. Just like the ocean, trillions of drops of water making up the oneness of the ocean. And every once in a while, a wave pops up, just like we express our individuation, our individuality. It differentiates itself from the whole, and it rides and curls, and then it surrenders back into the oneness. Aham Brahmasmi, baby. I am the universe. And feel all the miracles in your life surge into your heart with this next inhale. And gently flow those out to every corner of the galaxy. And with your next breath, feel the love of the universe settle in to that stillness, to that silence that rests within. And let's seal this oneness. Let's seal our connection. Let's seal our miracles by chanting the hymn of the universe together. First, let's take a long, slow, deep breath in and gently let that go. And let's do that one more time. Long, slow, deep breath in. And gently release it. And now let's seal this oneness. Let's seal our miracles by chanting Om together. One time. Take a long, slow, deep breath in. And when it feels comfortable, you can slowly open your eyes. Are you chill or what? You can look around at the tens of thousands who've just shared this collective consciousness with you. Let's get busy and ripples some miracles. One of my favorite quotes about miracles is by Audrey Hepburn. The amazing Audrey Hepburn, who said, "I believe in pink. I believe that laughing is the best calorie burner. I believe in kissing a lot. I believe in being strong when everything seems to be going wrong. I believe that happy girls are the prettiest girls. I believe that tomorrow is another day. And I believe in miracles." Right? So we've got an amazing show. We're going to go deep on miracles. The board's lighting up, and hopefully we'll have time to take calls, and Frank can share those with you. So who is this guy, Frank Elleriti, who's my guest today? Emmy Award-winning Frank Elleriti works on the National Assignment Desk and as a freelance producer for ABC Network News, which includes World News with Diane Sawyer, which is now World News with David Muir, Nightline 2020, Good Morning America. He also contributes regularly as a print reporter for abcnews.com. He's gotten national attention from HuffPost Live, NPR News for his investigative feature, Fame for Sale, which was this it's really pretty cool. It's this 24-minute video about the supply and demand of the social media industry. And he explored and dug deep into the dark corners, which is where they buy and sell YouTube views and Twitter followers. You know, ever seen those ads where they go, "We'll give you 100,000 likes for only $99.99. Well, he did a real deep explorative investigation of that. In January of 2014, so just about a year ago, Frank visited Zatri, the largest refugee camp for Syrian refugees, and that's on the border of Syria and Jordan. And he was there with the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees and actress Kat Graham, who we all know as the amazing Bonnie Bennett on The Vampire Diaries. Woo-woo! So they went there to raise awareness of the ongoing refugee crisis in Syria. Pure, selfless, amazing, powerful work, transforming the world by transforming themselves. The video that Frank shot, that he captured at the camp, is on CNN. So you can probably just go to CNN.com and, search around for Zatri, Zaatri. In college, he was the senior editor of the Campus Times. He's got a degree in journalism. He was the editor-in-chief of the award-winning Collegian newspaper up in L.A., and he's such a powerful and beautiful storyteller. And to be able to take these timeless translations of life, of spirit, of awakening, of transformation, of miracles, and convert that into such beautiful, relevant, heart-touching stories. That's really what he's most masterful about. He helped cover the 2010 California governor's race as an associate producer for ABC News. And he had interviews, if you live in California, you know these people, with Meg Whitman and Carly Fiorina and the guy who's now the governor, Jerry Brown. He's even covered Vice President Dick Cheney. So he spans all, the wholeness, the dark and the light of all things within the world. You can often find him on the red carpet at any Hollywood event and the Emmy after parties. He's that guy with the mic who's hanging out with all the celebs. And as a freelance producer for Good Morning America, he's worked on network coverage of pretty much every major award show, including, the Academy Awards, the Oscars, the Emmys, the Golden Globes, the Grammys. Here's Frank's quote, and I love this. She's so real. "I'm just a boy who grew up watching Disney movies and telling my mom that I wanted to be a street rat like Aladdin. While most children announce their dreams about growing up to be an astronaut or the president, I told my mom that I wanted to be a street rat like Aladdin. Today, an underlying truth lies within the naive dream of the little boy that I once was. Like the street rat turned prince, I am determined to be a man remembered not for the nobility of my blood, but for the nobility of my actions. Crazy, right? How special. So he's written a book, which will be coming out like any minute. And it's his first of many books because, as I said, such a powerful storyteller and such an engaged and beautiful being. And I first met Frank when he was shooting this video project called Modern Nirvana, where he was interviewing all these various teachers and voices and people who had an opinion on some aspect of the present moment or spirituality or modern nirvana, I guess you could say. And so that's a great, you should if you get the opportunity, it's on YouTube. He put it on YouTube. He could have negotiated some long, big project where it was going to air on some type of, TV. But, Frank's about creating and sharing. And that's really one of the reasons that I love him so dearly, is because of his selfless nature. And he's edgy. And he's really one of our upcoming teachers. And it's important that we make sure that not just, people in their 40s and 50s and 60s and 70s have access to these timeless truths, but people, who are in their teens and their 20s, and their, as they move into their 30s, really can connect at a much higher level to understanding about transformation and understanding about connecting and tapping into the present moment and stress management in general. So Frank's going to call us up in a little bit. And as soon as he does come in, hopefully Joe and Mike will patch him right into the show. He's up in L.A., up in La La Land. And so as soon as he reaches out, we'll connect. So miracles, what are these miracles? We often think, I'll just give you an interesting story. When I was in... each year we take a group to the Mexican Riviera, Maya Tulum, to explore the 5 realms. And this year we had 50 people. It was really amazing. And if that's something that sounds like what you want to do, visit davidji.com and join us for that. We meditate and do yoga all day. We swim. We explore the ruins. We do fire ceremonies. We dance. We cry. We do everything. But it was the new moon, and there was this really powerful blackness in the sky for about 3 days around the new moon. And I found myself sitting on the beach, and I was looking at a shooting star. And I was like, wow, that's so cool, a shooting star. That's like a miracle. And then another one happened. And I found myself, and if you want to really find a present moment experience, gaze at the night sky looking for shooting stars, because you will not be thinking about anything else other than holding space for the next shooting star. And so after I hit my 3rd one, I sort of became a little greedy on my miracles. It was like, I'll go back to my room after just the next one. And then there was a 4th, and then there was a 5th. And I realized that was like an aha moment for me. Like, wow, shooting stars are constantly out there. We just have to be awake to them. Even when it's not the new moon, when the moon's out, shooting stars are coming all the time, but because the moon is shining all this light, no one's seeing them. So it almost takes the darkness of night to see a shooting star. And it takes the stillness of your soul to see the miracles in your life. And that was like a real powerful, miracles are every single way. There are shooting stars going on right now in all of our lives, but the sun's out, so we can't see them. And so I encourage everyone this week, look around, just get still, meditate, practice 16 seconds, whatever that process is for you to stop thinking about all the gibberish of the past and the future just for a few moments. Get present, and you'll start to see the shooting stars in your life. So I think we've got Frank Elleriti on the line. Hello.
Can you hear me?
Hey.
Hey.
Hey there. How you doing?
Good, thanks. I loved your introduction. Thank you so much for that.
Hey, you're welcome to record that and take it anywhere you go. Whenever you go on stage, you can just play that first. Welcome, Frank Elleriti, to Live from the Sweet Spot.
Thank you so much. I love you so much, and I love that you have me on today.
Yeah, me too. Frank, you've also had the opportunity to really meet Peaches the Buddha Princess, so I feel like since the three of us are here right now, as well as tens of thousands of people around the world, I feel like we're back in our little love cocoon.
I know. Peaches is the most zen dog I've ever met in my life.
So, Frank, you've got so many things happening right now, and I know that you've also done some traveling around the world with Kat Graham, and you guys are sort of out there sharing love and spreading magnificence out there, and that you do a lot of work as well in the LA community to raise awareness of redevelopment and to bring that world back. You're doing it globally and locally, and that's so powerful, and I think we're all in deep gratitude to you for the work that you do. We've entitled the show Miracles because you and I speak about that stuff all the time. But I know that you have really you created this magnificent ongoing sort of like program, I guess I would call it, spiritual exploration called Modern Nirvana. And I know you just put another video up just a couple of days ago. So maybe you could just share with us just a little bit about what is Modern Nirvana, what inspired you to create that, and what's been the response and the feedback and the sharing.
Yeah, well, when I first, you were talking about my little 20-minute documentary, Fame for Sale, that I did, and when I did that and it got a lot of press and did really well, I was happy as a journalist, but I also thought in my personal life, I'm a yogi, I'm a meditator, I'm a student of A Course in Miracles and Kundalini Yoga, and yet my work isn't really reflecting that so much. So I thought I'm going to create sort of a place online where people can go to find that, and also for young people really who don't really have a place to go where they can learn about all kinds of spirituality. Because
vampires need to connect to spirituality too.
That's true. Vampires, witches, werewolves. We all need it. So I created Modern Nirvana, and you were one of my first guests, which was awesome. And we went to San Diego and spoke. And just this last week, I had Jordan Bach, who is sort of big in his own right on YouTube, and we talked about arrogance and how it's actually good to be arrogant, and because it's actually humble to be arrogant and think that you are holy and perfect, and it's actually arrogant to think that you're not, because the universe has already declared that you are. So if you think you're not, then you're saying you know better than the universe what you are.
Right.
So that was my last interview, and yeah, I've interviewed at Good Morning America. I've interviewed so many YouTube stars and done segments about YouTube stars. These guys who are making millions of dollars, and they're like, okay, Frankie, you have to release one video every week at least, maybe 2 a week. You got to really go out there. And I'm like, but it's not my dream to be a YouTube star. I just want a cool little place where every now and then, if I come up with a good interview with someone that's sharing something really cool, then I'll put it up. And so that's kind of what it is. And you can go there, and there's Davidji, there's Gabrielle Bernstein. I have interviews with all kinds of people, Jordan Bach, and it's just really cool. Brother David Steindl-Ross, who's a Gregorian monk. It's a cool little place. So just Modern Nirvana on YouTube.
Yeah, it seems to be so many different reflections of the same truth. Because some of us, we all vibe with different types of people. We all have a different access point to these teachings. Some people like a very strict and regimented one. Some people only want to hear the voice of a person who's a certain age or a certain color or a certain... not because they're prejudiced, but because they connect to it. They understand that person's languaging. Other people want, a woman or a man. Other people want someone who's young or someone who's older and wiser. We all have these different access points, which is why there's, it's so beautiful because, we're all speaking love. It's just a question of what are you connecting with? What are you resonating with?
Right, exactly.
So what's been the feedback? Are you getting? It's interesting because you're connecting all the dots, in that whole spiritual conversation.
Yeah, the feedback's really cool. Actually, I haven't been checking the messages, which is I don't even think about it. And yesterday I logged on, and I just kind of checked all the comments on my video. I went to visit John of God, and the Brazilian medium healer, and I posted this video months ago, and I just yesterday checked the page, and I saw that I had like 6 or 7 comments that I never replied to of people saying thank you so much for this. I've been wanting to go see John of God, and I didn't really know what to expect until I saw your video. And other people were like, hey, can he heal my problem with my nervous system? I mean, all these like really cool questions. People really care. So I finally got to answering all those questions yesterday.
Well, Frank, you're a teacher, you're an author, and you're also a powerful student. And one of the things that you are a student in is A Course in Miracles. And so, for those of you who aren't familiar with A Course in Miracles, this is something that was pretty much whispered through an internal voice to a woman, Helen Schuckman, in 1965. And she just went into this process of hearing the voice and then just writing down. And the first line is, this is A Course in Miracles. Please take notes. So this was the voice of Jesus coming, deeply into her. And, since then, millions of copies have been sold, and there are courses and workshops, and people have shared these teachings. So how did you get involved in A Course in Miracles? What was that like?
Well, it's funny because you were saying the first line. The first line is the most amazing first line in any book I've ever heard, and it's this is A Course in Miracles. It is a required course. The only choice, the only decision you make is when you take it, like the time that you take it. That's the only voluntary part. And I actually found it because I was reading Power versus Force by Dr. David Hawkins.
Great book. And
it's all about the level of consciousness and measuring the level of consciousness of everything. And one of those things that they were practicing, measuring the consciousness level of was different books. And one of the highest ranking ones was Course in Miracles. And so I thought, okay, I have to buy this book. I bought 3 or 4 books, but that was one of them. And it almost immediately became my primary practice. It's just so amazing that it's little by little changing your perception and the way you think, to the point that now when I go back to thinking of the way I used to think about certain things, which is the common way that we all think, I see it as insane. It's so insane to think that I can be separate from you, for example. I can't even comprehend that anymore. Where before I used to think, well, yeah, I'm one person and you're another person and we're 2 different people, but that is such an insane way of thinking, and it makes it so clear when you read A Course in Miracles and you do the lessons one by one, because it doesn't just throw it at you all at once. Every day you're getting a little bit more, and then the lesson that you learned the day before will help you with the lesson that you have to do tomorrow.
It's great. It's great. And here's I just want to, for those of you who are like, well, what do you mean? Like Jesus was talking to her? This is exactly this is a quote by Helen. The voice made no sound, but seemed to be giving me a kind of rapid inner dictation, which I took down in a shorthand notebook. The writing was never automatic. It could be interrupted at any time and later picked up again. It made obvious use of my educational background, interests, and experience, but that was in matters of style rather than content. Certainly the subject matter itself was the last thing I would have expected to write about. So this is someone who wasn't necessarily channeling this stuff, in her own life, and then suddenly, poof, she fell into this. Course in Miracles starts off on page 1 with this phrase: miracles occur naturally as expressions of love. They are performed by those who temporarily have more, for those who temporarily have less. It's so brilliant. We're all conduits of love, and we're just flowing it. And if I've got a lot, then I can share it, and if I don't have a lot, then I can receive it. And so it keeps that beautiful equilibrium of love, on this planet. going. Do you find yourself when you're like, standing in the Starbucks or sitting in traffic or something like that, sort of like reading A Course of Miracles in your head or downloading certain phrases or guidance?
Oh, constantly. I have a little note section in my phone that I probably read like 5 times, 10 times a day, and it's just like hundreds of my favorite phrases that I've written down over the years, and I use them in my personal life. Like, I live in LA, like you said, La La Land. So when somebody cuts me off in traffic, there's always traffic here, or anything, or there's so many reasons to be mad or get angry when you're living in the city. I'll say something like, I'll have a line from the book. It is not this I would look upon. I trust my brothers who are one with me. And it immediately just dispels any anger that you have inside of you, or somebody makes you angry and you say, I will forgive and this will disappear. There's like things like that that you just use in your constant daily life.
And they become affirmations. They actually embed themselves into you, and you shift in that moment.
Right, yeah,
But they also have longer term consequences as well, because I think they just keep opening your heart to love more deeply and more deeply. Not to put you on the spot, but could you give like a situation of maybe possible minor irritation that's happened in the last week or two or something like that, where you used these teachings to sort of like shift your orientation, not just to the moment, but, going forward as well?
Yeah, definitely, 100%. So, even at work, for example, I'm freelance, so I work for different places, mostly ABC, but different places. And I recently lost, so I got hired to do something, and then I lost it, and I was, it was assigned to someone else instead, and I was kind of angry about it, because I had already rearranged my whole schedule, and I did my whole, it is not this I would look upon. I trust my brothers who are one with me, and sat down and I meditated, and I got to a point where I was, because it's very easy to say, I will forgive and this will disappear, but saying it means nothing. It's meaning it that means everything. So I sat down and really meditated on that idea of forgiving, and it's okay. Somebody better got the job, or somebody who needed it got the job. It's fine. And that within like 20 minutes of me meditating, I got a call, and I got offered an even better opportunity, and that lasted like 2 days longer, too. So it was a 3-day shoot instead of just a 1-day shoot. So you just, it's so crazy how now they just happen fast. Like, these miracles are fast now, because now I'm just in a place where I'm so open. Another example is last week there was somebody that I wanted to interview for Modern Nirvana, and I was running on the treadmill, and I thought, okay, let me send myself an email reminder to email this guy asking him to be on Modern Nirvana. And as soon as I sent myself the email, I checked my Instagram, and I had a new like on one of my photos, and I checked, and it was the guy that I was going to email the next day to ask him to be on Modern Nirvana. He just happened to like one of my photos randomly. So it's just so cool how it works now. When you become so open that you're just like ready to receive, it just happens.
Yeah, it just happens, and that's exactly what you said. It's when we're ready to receive. And so a lot of people, say to me, how come that person gets all coincidences and magic synchro destinies unfolding in their life all the time? And, and that never happens to me. And
Right.
It's not that they're not happening. They're happening. But it's like watching the shooting stars with the sun out, You're just not going to see them. You have to go to that space of total acceptance, of total surrender. And I think, the term to describe in both of your situations, you have to go to that space of trust.
Right.
Trusting that the universe will deliver what you need, and when you're ready as well. Because a lot of times we say, like, let's say we've just ended a relationship with someone, and we're like so angry, and we're like, pointing fingers at that person that we just broke up with, or that just broke up with us, and we're angry, and we're ashamed, and we're saddened, and we'll never love again. Like all the list of all those things are happening in the wake of that. And that's when you like show up pretty desperate at bars at 2:00 in the morning,
Right.
Because you're like, I'll show them, or I need love, or we're in a less than state. And if we could just spend a little time with ourselves, appreciating all the amazing attributes of ourselves, all the things that truly we love about ourselves, and then we show up innocently, then other people will go, wow, that person's amazing. And it goes back to your arrogance thing. It's like, look how much they love themselves. I want to love them too. But it involves us trusting and not knee-jerking. And that comes with a meditation practice as well, to allow us to be a little more patient, a little calmer. I love that Lao Tzu line, do you have the patience to wait until your mud settles and the water is clear? Do you have the patience to wait until the right action arises by itself? And that's what miracles are all about. It's being in that space of miracle receptivity. Frank, you were kind enough, I love you so much. You were so kind to send me your manuscript before...
You were so kind to receive it.
Right. But, you sent it to me before before it went to a publisher, before anything, just to share that. And I loved it. And I love this way you so beautifully blend lessons and really interesting stories as well. Your book is called The Enlightened Barista, and maybe you could talk. What sparked that? What inspired you to even go there, write that?
Yeah, I think it was just how sometimes, and it's just such a cliche answer, but it just came to me. It was like I just downloaded it. It was I took my favorite lessons from A Course in Miracles and a little bit of Kundalini Yoga, but it's really a lot of my favorite things that I've learned from A Course in Miracles, because a lot of people don't have the commitment, don't want to make the commitment to such a big practice like that.
And I think it's like 600 pages or something. So just
it's a lot.
The original text is like, it's fat.
It's like 600 pages, and then on top of that, a lesson for each day that you do along with the reading. And then there's a teacher manual after. Right. So it's a lot. It takes about a year, maybe 2 years to finish. And so I made this very short story, or I created this short story based around these lessons. So as Matthias, our main character, as he's learning these lessons from his journey from Lebanon to India and back to Lebanon again, as he becomes a student and then becomes a teacher, he goes back, to Lebanon, to his hometown to teach. We are learning those lessons along with him. So it's just a cool, entertaining way to learn. And I just love the book so much. I'm one of those people who I go back and I read my stuff and I'm like, ew, I can't believe I ever wrote that. But
I hear you.
But this one, I go back and I actually like reading it.
I know, that's so funny. It's like, what? Who snuck in and opened my laptop and started writing this stuff while I was asleep?
Right. And I don't get that with this book. So I think it'll be out February 1st as an ebook.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah.
For those of you listening out there who have not been to Frank's site, it's Frank Elaridi, FrankElleriti.com. And so that I'm sure, if we go there and get on your list or start paying attention, or follow you on Twitter or Instagram or Facebook, we will be one of the first people to actually have access to the official one.
Yes, I'll put a big note out for everyone for you guys to go check it out.
Right. So your protagonist, your lead character in the story, Matthias, he is Lebanese, and so is this loosely autobiographical, even though that's not how the story is told to us?
Well, I was never a barista, and I never went to go see a great guru in India or anything. But yeah, absolutely. They say write what you know, and I think that there's definitely a part of Matthias in me. He's somebody he's frustrated. He's going through a lot of things in life in the beginning. Everything goes wrong. He gets fired. He needs a girl that he can't have. Just everything kind of goes wrong. And then he's kind of pushed onto this journey to India. He's kind of like coerced into going, but he ends up evolving and changing so much and meeting amazing people on the way that teach him so much. And then he comes back, and becomes a teacher in his hometown. So it's a really cool journey.
Yeah, I loved it. I found myself laughing. I found myself being sad. I found myself feeling triumphant. I really felt like there's times when we like love characters so much we start seeing ourselves as the character, and he's really a character that you can suddenly like weave yourself into very, very quickly because it's real life stuff. It's not some
right, very relatable, and especially everyone who listens to your show obviously is already a spiritual, is on that path, so they'll relate so much because it's things that I've sort of learned little by little. He's also learning it little by little, and I have a coworker who's not spiritual at all, and she read the book. She's a writer, and she's like, geez, Frank, I read it, and I found myself accidentally enlightened by the end.
Well, that's an amazing story. That's really how I teach as well. Tell a story,
right.
Incorporate some teachings in there, make it lighthearted, and suddenly at the end you're like, hey, how did that come into me? When did I learn to be peaceful and present? And I feel that it's really a journey that you could look at on so many different levels, as a Course in Miracles type of journey, as a personal journey, like here's real life and here's what I'm going through. And wow, these are such great solutions in that process. And even just to read as a novel and go, oh, that's an interesting tale of someone's. Because we're all journeying on this path, and there's no graduation date. Even when we die, it's not the graduation date. It's a constant.
Right.
It's a constant evolution, of all these teachings. Would you be open to taking a call or two? Let's see if.
Yeah.
Let's
I would
see.
love that.
Okay, so we have Bethany in Lake Stevens, Washington.
Hey, Bethany.
Hello. Hi.
Hi. Well, welcome to Live from the Sweet Spot. I'm here with Frank Elleriti and Peaches, the Buddha princess, who's curled up right now, gazing at me. So she wants to know, what's going on, Bethany.
Well, thank you for taking my call. That's really sweet. So is she a dog?
She's a dog. She's an LA rescue. She's a mindful Morkie. She's... she has her own Facebook page, Peaches the Buddha Princess. She's got about 1,400 fans on there. So,
That's awesome. Well, maybe she can help me because my little 7-week-old Labradoodle just got admitted to the hospital today. So,
oh my God.
I know, it's really sad. So they think she might have parvo, but they're not sure.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just a sad situation, and I really want her to get better. So I really just need a really good affirmation to be open for a miracle, because I feel like there could be one. Obviously, there's one there somewhere. I just need to be open to receiving it.
Well, the affirmation that I always love to put into right before I meditate every single morning is, I choose miracles.
I choose.
And that way, that's always going on. And rather than like begging or praying or doing whatever, I am consciously choosing them. I'm consciously awake to them. I'm in a state where if there's miracles coming, and we know that they're flying all around, I'm choosing them. And if we can use that almost like a little mantra in our head or an affirmation throughout the day, I choose miracles. So when you find you stub your toe, when you're stuck in traffic, when you're upset with something, if you just remind yourself, I choose miracles. And so here, what's your puppy's name?
Rafiki.
How do you spell that?
Rafiki. Actually, her full name is Rafiki Bora, and it's best friend in Swahili because she's my best friend.
Right. Oh my God, that's brilliant. I love that. So what we can do right now, you, me, Frank, and wherever you are in the world right now, here's just like let's all put our palms together, touch each other energetically, and let's take a long, slow, deep breath in, and just connect right now together. Let's summon the power of our collective and let that go. And let's do it again, and as we exhale this time, let's all send our most healing intentions and love to Rafiki. And as we exhale, let's just send them out. And now let's do it one more time, and as we inhale, bring in all of our collective energy, our healing power, and let's exhale that love and healing to anyone out there who may be suffering, which includes Bethany right now. And now we can open our eyes, come back. Bethany, you've got tens of thousands of people rooting for you and for Rafiki right now. And the key is, I choose miracles. Frank, is there something you'd like to share?
Yeah, you know what? I always say almost every morning, I say, I become more healthy every day. My body knows how to heal itself. And that has really helped me. I mean, I haven't been sick in like 6 years, knock on wood, but I say that every day. And, you know, one thing you could say is Rafiki becomes more healthy every day. Rafiki knows how to heal himself. And A Course in Miracles says, you know, dispel the belief that your thoughts have no effect. Everything you see is a result of your thoughts. So that's not saying that, you know, that you created a sickness in anybody or anything like that, but it's saying that you, from this moment, can kind of take control. You know, and your thoughts are infinitely more powerful than any past thought. So make sure that this present moment you're thinking about health, and you know that your body can heal itself, and Rafiki's body can heal itself.
That's so brilliant, and that's so specific to Course. On page 146 in Course in Miracles, it says, do not ask Spirit to heal the body. Ask rather that Spirit teach you the right perception of the body.
Exactly.
So,
yeah.
Right on, Frank. You're like zoned in.
Thank you. That is so helpful. I was hoping to get more than just me thinking positively about her, so that's so helpful. And I just wanted to add one more thing. I thought it was really interesting. I was about to, you know, go take a bath and, like, go cry and everything. And I was like, I want to read a book. And I was like, why would I want to read a book? I'm bawling my eyes out. And guess what book I grabbed? A Course in Miracles. And then I called the show, and I was like, what's the topic today? And they're like, miracles.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well,
so I was listening the whole time, and I was like, wow, I grabbed A Course in Miracles.
Right. Well, that's being awake. That's you know, coincident. There are no meaningless coincidences. There, you know, coincidences, like, what's the purpose of a coincidence? It's the universe asking you to pay attention to the bigger unfolding. So you were, like, zoned in. That's so beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
It's our perfect miracle story for the show.
Thank you so much. It's very helpful.
All right, sending you and Rafiki
Thanks,
big love.
Thank you. You guys have a great day.
You too.
Bye.
Let's take a call from Sangeeta in Batesville, Maryland, East Coast.
Sangeeta.
Hey, Davidji. Thank you for taking my call.
Thank you.
Yeah. I have listened to you on Hey House Radio so many times, and I tried to call you for so many times, and this is first time.
It's a miracle.
It went through. Yeah, it's a miracle. Thank you. Yes, it is. I'm working on. I'm very spiritual from the beginning, and I'm working on spiritual path where I was introduced to angels. I think it's 5 years back, where I am connected to angels. I work with them. I'm a Reiki master, but and I used to do meditation, but not every day, because I have 2 small kids and I'm running around with them.
How old are they?
My son just turned 7 today, and daughter is going to be 10 in March.
Oh, well, happy birthday to him.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
So you have been finding some challenges meditating because you've got your son. And what are their names?
Harshil and Ria.
Harsha and Ria. So here's really what, if we would say, oh, no one who has kids could ever meditate, then virtually no one would be meditating. So what you need to do is start off by inviting them to share some of this quiet time with you. Don't call it a time out like when we punish kids, but call it a time in, and invite them just to hang out with you just for a few minutes. And, you know, they can they can follow their breath, you know, or they can just, practice so hum as they breathe in, silently repeat so, and as they exhale, silently repeat hum. And then they can get in that so hum. Do that for like 2 minutes, and then at the end, all 3 of you om together. It's so cool. You know, it's a cool, fun thing. So you can tell them that it's a hipster thing to do. You know, it's not like a mommy thing or a parent thing. It's like a cool thing. And, start off small with that. That's how we do it with our dogs, too. So, I think, Harsha and Ria can absolutely join you. Just taking a few minutes here and there, and then hug each other, and then you start to create this little ritual. And if there's somebody, gets their finger caught in a door, or if they, skin their knee, or if they're upset about something, or even if you have your more serious issues that you may be upset about, you can all sort of huddle together and have your 1 or 2 or 3 minutes of connection time, taking a time in together. And in time, that will build, and then when you want to spend maybe 10 or 15 or 20 minutes alone, you can say to them, listen, guys, if you're welcome to join me if you want to go longer, but I'm gonna go sit down now and meditate and take a time in. So if you just could, honor that, because we know how happy it makes us all feel, and you want mommy to be happy too, because mommy will love you even, more when she's happy, that type of thing. You can just create that whole dynamic, and that shifts the energy from this being some weird thing that mommy goes off and does and excludes us. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does make sense. Thank you so much. And also, my father-in-law is diagnosed with a cancer, and it's a 4th stage. So that's that's something to consideration also.
Yes, absolutely. Frank, would you like to speak to Sangeeta about this?
What was the last part?
My father-in-law is diagnosed with cancer, and it's a 4th stage. So yeah, that's I think what Davidji told me. It really does make sense, because that's what. We can get some time together, and when it happens, like this, I can help my kids too.
I think it's so touchy, especially with A Course in Miracles. There's so much about sickness. There's so many different angles, so many things that we are exposed to today that I don't really like talking about illness specifically if I don't know all the details. But I would say that one thing that I have it written in my room, actually, in huge words over my bed. It says, "I am not a body. I am free." And that's a line from A Course in Miracles. It says, "I remain still as God created." So it's really helpful to realize that whoever is in your life that might be sick, it's just a body illness, and it has nothing to do with the soul and the spirit, which cannot die. Cannot be ill, cannot be sick. And A Course in Miracles says to believe that you can be sick, that your essence can be sick, is to believe that God himself can be sick, which it can't, God can't be sick.
Right.
Yes.
So, I would just realize that that all you can do is offer your light and your support and kind of, do your affirmations and deny, the Course says, deny the denial of truth. So illness is a denial of truth. So then your job becomes to deny the denial of truth. Don't see him as sick. Don't side with sickness. Side with his healthy side. Side with see his soul, see his spirit, but don't focus on the illness.
It's brilliant.
Yes.
It's brilliant.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you, Sangeeta. We're sending you love. And hopefully some of these sharings will help you ease your suffering. Frank, we've only got a minute left. You're just amazing. I hope you will join me again soon.
Thank you. I hope so. Go so fast.
I'm wishing you such great fortune and happiness with the release of the Enlightened Barista. And for those of you who want to connect with Frank at a deeper level, that's frankelleriti.com.
Yeah.
And so that's a way to reach out to Frank and connect to Frank and follow him as he transforms the world. Also visit davidji.com and send me an email at info@davidji.com to retreat with me, go on a workshop, explore the world, and connect to guided meditations, ways to bring yourself into the present moment. On behalf of Frank and Peaches the Buddha Princess and me, sending everyone a big shout out of love, deep gratitude for tuning in, and you can listen again on iTunes. Namaste, and we'll see you in the gap.